But grifters are one of the worst things that happen in the black community in the 21st century. I'm not saying this to be put on a pedestal. I don't need applause. I'm only saying it because it's real. Because when you look at the data and the wealth gap, the business survival rates, the home ownership rates, the marriage rates, the overall condition isn't where it should be, in my opinion. Then you come online and it's grift after grift after grift after grift. We got relationship coaches who aren't in relationships, real estate mentors who don't do real estate, entrepreneurs whose only business is selling courses about entrepreneurship, pro-black voices scamming other black people, religious influencers monetizing their faith more than actually living in it, people constantly telling women, don't date a man if you make this kind of money, like that's universal wisdom. People telling others to quit stable jobs while their own stability comes from selling motivation. Meanwhile, real people are losing real savings, getting evictions, quitting jobs without a plan, and destroying stability chasing an image. This is not about attacking entrepreneurship or attacking self-improvement. It's really only about exploitation. And I think it's so important in these times for people to understand that degrees still matter, licenses still matter, certifications still matter, track records still matter. It's important to stop buying into aesthetics without seeing any evidence. If someone is teaching love, verify that they have love in their own life. If someone is teaching business, verify that they actually made money from running a business. Confidence, it shouldn't come from buying into someone else's illusion. Discernment isn't hate, accountability isn't betrayal, and verification isn't negativity, it's maturity. And if we actually care about the community, it's time for us to raise that standard.
Let's do a breakdown on everything that was said in that video. The wealth gap, home ownership, business survival, marriage survival. It comes down to how do we protect ourselves from grifters? In the video, the young man said, we have relationship coaches who aren't in relationships. How many of you have listened to relationship gurus tell you about maybe how to get married, how to have successful dating experiences, and yet never looked up if they have in fact had a successful marriage, a successful dating experience? I lean on the side of skepticism, so I'm always questioning everybody about everything. But I remember a couple of years ago coming across a influencer who was sort of like, he called himself, I think, the gay dating coach, and he was specializing in coaching, I want to say, Black women in finding straight men. And he seemed like a wonderful person. No shade to him. I'm sure you guys could find him if you look him up. But it always seemed odd that I would listen to heterosexual dating advice from a gay man, not because he wouldn't have good advice, because maybe he's dated in his community, but how would that be applicable to me? This is what this young man is saying in terms of grifting. Not that this other guy was a grifter, but we have to be looking at, well, does this really make sense to us? Another thing he said, look out for real estate mentors who don't do real estate. If anybody is coaching you on doing something, the first question that we should all be asking is, have they done it successfully? If they're teaching you how to be healthy, have they lost weight? And you should be asking, well, when did you have this experience? What was your experience? And do not allow people to gloss over it. The next thing that he talked about was pro Black voices scamming other people. This reminds me specifically of the Target boycott, where Dr. Jamal Bryant, Tamika Mallory, and the other person whose name escapes me at the moment all said the Target boycott was off. And the people in the Black community was like, no, it ain't. Well, were these people paid to say that the Target boycott was off? Because they didn't call the rest of the Black community. People who are supposed to be pro Black, are they going into back rooms and dark lots and making deals and not telling us and scamming the rest of us? I'm not saying that is what happened, but I am saying that you have so many people who will go in a back room and do a deal and then sell it to us as the holy grail. And I'm saying to you guys,
No.
we cannot just buy into it. You want to know how I feel about the Target boycott? please check out this video. Religious influencers monetizing their faith. This is why everybody was mad at Druski.
I had somebody in the congregation ask why I'm wearing Christian Dior and Christian Louboutins. Because I'm a Christian and I walk in the blood of Jesus.
This is why I did the video about Pastor Winans.
That's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
This is an example of people monetizing their faith. And I have another story, you guys. I remember meeting a guy years ago who was a pastor who regularly attended strip clubs. And I was like,
oh no.
So you go to strip clubs and you're a pastor? He was like, yeah, and I'll talk to people afterwards and this and that. And I'll go back to their hotel rooms. Like, I don't do anything with them, but I minister to them. Now, again, who am I to judge? Maybe the Lord is sending lots of people to strip clubs, lots of pastors and so forth. I mean, but to me, the skeptic that I am, he sounded like a fraud. Does it mean that he is a fraud? No. But to me, how many pastors you going to trust and let baptize your child that's going to the strip club?
What?
Regularly. And I done been to the strip club. I'm just saying, I don't know about that. Another thing that was said in the video, people are giving this advice: don't date men unless they make a certain amount of money. And I have to agree with him in the sense that so many people have advice regarding how couples should move through their lives. And here's the reality. I was married for 23 years until my husband passed away. You don't know what works in another person's marriage, right? If they have a plan that works for them, that's what works for them. But this idea that it's universal advice that, hey, you can't date someone if you make 200,000 and they make 100 or they make 75, you can't make your marriage work. That is not a universal fact. And so people giving out advice, particularly relationship advice, I can't stand to give out relationship advice because I just know that it's so personalized. It's about who the people are. It's about what their goals are. It's about what trauma that they bring into the relationship, what baggage that they bring into the relationship. That determines what's going to work inside the relationship. The entrepreneurs piece, he said that entrepreneurs are out here telling people to quit jobs and to quit their sort of stability. And yet a lot of these people, their only entrepreneurial thing that they're doing is telling you how to be an entrepreneur, and they're not doing the work in terms of their own business. How do you avoid being the victim of a grifter? How do you protect yourself? You have to verify and you have to make sure that they are doing what they're telling you that they know how to do. And if they don't, you cannot listen to them. You cannot pay them. In the video, the man said also that it is about exploitation. People are literally trying to exploit, try to take advantage of people. I can't agree more. And he said that degrees, certification, and a track record matters. Accountability isn't betrayal, and verification isn't negativity. Why are we talking about that? Because you have to verify that these people are who they say they are. And a lot of these folks out here today, they will lie. They will go up on ChatGPT or go on whatever AI, create some fake stuff. You got to check, and cross-check. If you are a person who has been taken advantage of by a grifter, share with me what your experience is. Leave it in the comments. Let me know how you feel. And if you like this series where I am reacting to something that has been popular on social media, let me know that too. I wanted to try this as something new on the Yasmin Breakdown and avoid those grifters. We got to protect ourselves. That is certainly one to grow on. And I will see you next time. Peace.